1:35, April 28th, 2012. Welcome to Fireside Evenings with Neal Skorpen.
Hello.
We're at the Stumptown Comic Fest. How's the fest treating you so far?
Great. It's been fun. People are interested.
And are they showing you the respect you deserve?
Yeah, I think so.
How many signatures have we signed?
I think 2 or 3.
2.5?
Yeah. Hello. Well, 2 actual signatures and then 1 corrupted, ruined signature that Peter...
How did it get ruined? What happened?
Somebody got all full of himself with his name.
That would never happen.
No.
So earlier you were talking about Terrance Malick and how you didn't understand him, how he was too deep for you. Is that a good synopsis of what you were saying?
No.
And also you told me that if it was made into a comic you would like it, but as a movie you hate it.
This is what they call gotcha journalism.
I boiled it down to a nutshell for our audience who has such a short attention span.
Okay. So you're completely wrong in your summary of what I said.
Wrong meaning?
Wrong. So, Terrance Malick, The Tree of Life. It's, I was saying that I actually really liked the whole experimental style, and I really liked...
What he said was he liked the dinosaurs.
I liked the dinosaurs. And
he didn't like the stuff about the feelings in the family, right?
Oh, that was bogus. Like, why are we watching these stupid kids hit each other for 2 hours? I get it. Families fight. Fathers are painful. Death is awful. It doesn't seem worth going back to the beginning of time to talk about it.
And but if it was a comic, it would have been great.
Yeah, because if it's a comic, you can just look at the page with the dinosaurs for hours, and then close it up and put it down, and you're done.
Okay, so I noticed you have a general issue that... Can we share the same screen? Move your damn head. You really don't like words very much. You're Mr. Pictures, but you don't like words. Is that right?
No.
Yeah.
I like words.
Just not very much. And not too many of them.
That's not true at all.
But if that movie had been a comic with fewer words, it would have been a success, right?
Not necessarily. I think it would have been a better movie if it was shorter, if it was a good half-hour shorter.
At the end part.
Yeah, the last half.
That had all the feelings in it.
You can keep all the front half with all the
with no
dinosaurs
feelings
and stuff.
The part with the no feelings was fun.
It's got some feelings. It's got Sean Penn as an architect being morose.
So you're pro-morose.
Well, that, and I felt like the movie, to respond to the movie, you really have to be a believer in God, which I am not. So...
Oh, we're suddenly getting controversial here.
Yeah.
But do you believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah. I believe in... Yes.
Okay, now, remember that scene with the dinosaur?
Mm-hmm. Remember how he stepped on that other dinosaur's head?
That's what I want to talk... That's exactly what I would talk about, and I have an answer to your question of what it's all about.
Okay.
Compassion. So first, dinosaur A, which is dying, lying by the river. Another dinosaur comes along. It seems to be maybe a vegetarian dinosaur. Anyway, it's not really a predator. But it really steps on his head and a quick reaction to another dinosaur of another species. It could be a threat. But then pats it more gently when it overcomes the fear. And I wonder, could that be kind of a proto...
Yeah, that would be...
first hint in evolution of compassion?
I bet that's what it is. That's the whole state of grace versus state of nature thing. State of nature is to crush the other dinosaur's head. State of grace is to recognize the other dinosaur is in pain. And is there a way to alleviate its suffering? See, the movie is very transparent. It's done in this super experimental style, or it wants you to think it is. But really, there's so little going on. It's just...
Yeah, but so, I remember you didn't know what that scene was until I explained it to you, Mr. Transparent.
That's true. But
Were you wearing those goggles when you saw the movie?
I was not. That was my problem. Everything is better through giant goggles.
Oh, well, I can get on that. So it was too heavy-handed at the same time as it was too esoteric?
It wasn't... Mainly, I just thought it was too thin. The story, the actual drama of the family was too thin. There was like, okay, spoilers. The 19-year-old dies. Hello. We don't know how or why. I guess it's not important. But we don't get any of the
Vietnam.
Was it Vietnam?
That's my take.
That would be about right, yeah. So we can assume he died in Vietnam. I thought actually if he died in the war, the letter would have been delivered by a soldier.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. You have a good point.
But it's possible they don't really do that except in movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But anyway, you know, you know what the events are, and you get all this emotional reaction from the family group. And it just seemed essentially cliched. Everything that happens, everything that actually takes place in the movie is very time-worn, familiar territory. It's done in a different kind of style, but it's all form, lots of form and not enough content.
Okay, so now I want to move away from the family part of the movie, but the state of grace issue and planets, cosmos, leaves on trees, beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
Did you find any of that emotionally latent and meaningful? Or did you think it was just too slow and not too thin, as you said?
I enjoyed
even though
all
it's
that
pretty.
Stuff. I enjoyed that stuff a lot. Thanks. What I kept thinking was, I was reminded of 2001, the movie, but I was kind of forcibly reminded of how the movie I'm watching is not 2001. How 2001 kind of implies a lot of other stuff going on. Tree of Life has a lot of stuff going on to reinforce the same kind of simple message over and over again. So, less powerful, I thought.
When I was a little kid, I saw 2001 in the theater with my dad.
Oh, cool. Lucky
and he wanted to take us out once the last surviving astronaut goes into the monolith, and they have the extreme hyper warping, traveling and surreal experience. He wanted to take us out because he figured we wouldn't appreciate it, but we demanded that he take us back in so we could watch it.
As well you should.
Yeah. And I don't know if that would have happened with this movie, but I did like the movie. I like the other works of Terrance Malick better.
I haven't seen.
Do you like Thin Red Line? Or the one that's set in the farmlands? Now, I asked you if you saw a comic book with no pictures. It just had pictures of pretty leaves and cosmology that was very pretty and a very rare use of text to suggest the subject of state of grace and larger issues. You said you would have loved that.
I might have said that. I might have spoken too rashly. So I could imagine a book like that I would enjoy very much.
Of course, you can just flip the pages as fast as you want, so it doesn't have to be a 2-hour experience.
Well,
like
yeah. I mean, so there's different ways you could... I mean, if it's beautiful pictures of leaves and planets and whatnot, you can certainly enjoy those for their own sake. If it doesn't add up to a story, then as a graphic novel, it would sort of fail.
Of course, we look at, pretty paintings in a museum, and there's not always a story we can make out of it.
Right.
But we just turn our heads when we're done looking at it.
Yeah.
So, I'm not worried with that.
Yeah,
Too thin. Because you're forced for 2 hours to watch a movie about a family's problem.
I was waiting for some kind of... I was waiting to be challenged. I never really felt especially challenged. Like, so, family tragedy... Obviously, the parable of Job was like the first thing you saw, so you know it's related to the issue of why do bad things happen to good people, and it's all kind of framed in terms of religious faith. And in the end, the mother kind of rediscovers her faith and gives her son to God willingly.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, that's right.
And it's, you know, and you can kind of see the father as sort of a godlike figure, as sort of a similar mysterious authority figure who causes pain for no good reason, but is still respected as the authority. It's just kind of noodling. Intellectual noodling is sort of how it struck me.
Now, if I recall correctly, the Book of Job, academics believe, scholars believe, had 2 authors.
Oh, really?
Could this have needed the input of another author, maybe a comic artist,
yes,
to pull it together?
Yeah. Comic artist could have made it much better film.
I think we'll conclude
Someone
there.
like Jeff Darrow.
Who's that?
He was a concept artist for The Matrix. And he illustrated Heartfelt by Frank Miller, which is an ultra-violent future dystopia.
I don't know how we got it here. All right, so I think next time in our fireside chat, we'll talk about your belief that nothing is true.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Forward to that.
Thanks for watching.